All right, you've seen the headlines. We've seen the headlines. The digital world is spinning fast today. We're jumping straight into the deep end of what's got everyone talking.
That's right. Forget endless scrolling. We're giving you the essential insights fast. Consider this your cheat sheet to being in the know right now.
First up, your wallet might be feeling a little lighter soon. The Chinese embassy in the U.S., over on X at Chinese MBUS, just tweeted. Well, they tweeted that China is slapping a 125% tariff on all imported U.S. goods.
Wow, 125%.
Yeah, effective tomorrow, April 12th. And get this, over 5 million views already. You can tell this isn't going unnoticed. So what's the bigger picture here?
Well, you need to see this as a direct punchback, really. Remember the tariffs the U.S. has been putting on Chinese goods.
Right, under the second Trump administration.
Exactly. Those climbed over 42%. So China's retaliating, plain and simple. They're aiming to squeeze the U.S. economically.
And hitting some specific sectors hard.
Oh, yeah. They're going after some big-ticket items you might not even think about directly, things like oil seeds, which were massive. $18.5 billion export.
$18.5 billion, wow.
And machinery, too, at almost $13 billion, based on last year's numbers. Keep in mind, U.S. exports to China had already dipped, so this could really, accelerate that downward trend.
So this could mean higher prices down the line for a whole range of goods.
Potentially, yes, for everyone.
Okay, from global economics to the wild world of tech. Have you ever heard someone described as the John Wick of CDA kernels?
Can't say I have.
Because at JXMNUP, that's Jack Morris, just tweeted that, praising someone named Yukio Chow for inventing something called VLLM. He literally made the comparison to Keanu Reeves.
The action movie legend. All right, okay.
We've got that tweet lined up for people to check out, too. What makes this guy, Yukio Chow, so special?
Well, what's fascinating about him is his background. He's not just some random coder. This guy is a PhD candidate at Tsinghua and a researcher at UC Berkeley. Now, VLLM, this thing he invented, it's all about making those huge language models we hear so much about run way, way faster.
How does it do that?
It uses this clever technique called page attention. Think of it like optimizing memory use. Instead of reserving a whole chunk of space it might not need, it only uses what's necessary. Super efficient.
Right, okay.
And a Red Hat study actually found it can be up to 24 times faster than the standard approach, like Hugging Face transformers.
24 times. That's incredible.
It is. There's even this amazing story about him writing just 3 lines of code as a kid that just smoked the competition in some benchmark.
Seriously?
Yeah. And he's also done significant work in computer vision, had a paper at CVPR back in 2019, a real full-stack whiz.
So for us, this could mean faster, maybe more accessible AI down the road.
That's the potential. Yeah. Very promising stuff.
Now, for a bit of a thought experiment, this one's courtesy of Bill Ackman.
Yeah.
He threw out this hypothetical. What if the U.S., Europe, and Japan all dropped internal tariffs to 0?
Okay. Total free trade zone there.
Right. And then, together, they slapped a massive 145% tariff on China. Wild, right? What's the thinking there?
Well, connecting this to the bigger picture, Appen's basically gaming out a scenario to really, really pressure China on things like what he sees as unfair trade practices, intellectual property issues.
He's been pretty vocal about China being a bad actor, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. And this connects directly to those recent U.S. tariff hikes under Trump. Remember, those went over 100% on some Chinese goods.
And China hit back with 84% then.
Exactly. So this 145% idea is like dialing it way up. But there's a catch, a big one.
Which is?
History. Someone else on X pointed out the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act way back. That kind of coordinated tariff war, it led to a massive collapse in global trade, made the Great Depression even worse.
Oof. Right. So a cautionary tale.
Definitely. While Ackman's ideas about leverage, tariffs that high, even coordinated, could have some serious, unpredictable global ripple effects for everyone.
Okay, let's turn our attention to the White House. Sounds like it was a busy day at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Seems like it.
Yeah. At Carl Mehta tweeted about President Trump holding a, quote, high-stakes cabinet meeting. Top officials delivered what Mehta called major announcements directly to the American people.
Okay, so what were these big reveals? Anything specific?
Well, the tweet mentioned a few things. First, more talk about those tariffs we've been discussing, so clearly a major focus.
Right, keeps coming up.
Then there was mention of beefing up the U.S. military presence at the Panama Canal.
Interesting. The Atlantic Council has talked about that, right? As a counter to China's influence in the region.
Exactly. They also rolled out something called a gold card program. Sounds like it's aimed at attracting wealthy immigrants.
Ah, yeah. Commerce Secretary Lutnick was talking about that. The idea is they could bring in a ton of money to, tackle U.S. debt.
But I bet there's pushback.
Oh, yeah. Forbes has already raised concerns, suggesting it might create a kind of unfair, two-tiered immigration system.
Okay. Anything else?
One more big one. They apparently released a whole trove of previously classified documents related to the assassinations of RFK and MLK.
Wow, really?
Yeah, DNI Tulsi Gabbard confirmed it, and SF Gate reported a large team was involved in prepping those records. So, yeah, potential shifts on multiple fronts coming out of that meeting.
Okay, let's switch gears. Financial markets. Feeling a little uneasy about investments, maybe.
Uh-oh. What's happening?
Well, at Trading Thomas 3 certainly seems to be. He tweeted about U.S. Treasury yields spiking pretty significantly.
Spiking yields never usually a good sign in the short term.
Right, and the caption specifically name drops Secretary Besant. What does this mean for, the average person in the economy?
Well, those Treasury yield increases, we're talking the 10-year, the 30-year, even the 5-year bonds, seeing big jumps that usually signals a sell-off in the bond market.
Meaning investors are worried.
Could be. Often it's worries about inflation or maybe big changes in economic policy, like these tariffs maybe. The mention of Secretary Besant is interesting because, well, just last month, CNBC reported he described some recent market dips as benign, like not too concerning.
Ah, so these rising yields suggest maybe the market isn't feeling so benign anymore.
Exactly. It suggests things might be feeling a bit less calm now. If this trend keeps up, it could put pressure on the Federal Reserve, on the administration.
And what about foreign holders, like China?
That's the other risk. If big players like China, who hold a lot of U.S. debt, start selling off their treasuries, Investopedia points this out, that could have, well, further significant consequences for interest rates and the dollar. Something to watch.
Definitely. Okay, now, a surprising move, maybe, in the electric vehicle world.
EVs. What's that?
At Spectator Index just broke the news. Tesla is suspending orders for their Model S and Model X vehicles in China.
Suspending? Just the S and X. Why?
Well, the most likely reason seems to connect right back to those tariffs we came talking about.
Ah, the 34% tariff on U.S. goods going into China.
That's the one, NPR reported on it. That makes those higher-end Tesla models, the S and X, significantly more expensive over there.
Right, in what's already a super competitive market.
Exactly, and if you look at the numbers, Reuters noted Tesla didn't actually sell huge volumes of the S and X in China last year anyway.
They face tough competition from local brands, right, like BYD.
For sure. BYD and others offer much more affordable options. It's important to remember, though, Tesla's Shanghai factory.
Oh, yeah, the Gigafactory.
It's still churning out the Model 3 and Y, both for the Chinese market and for export, according to Reuters.
So it looks more like a strategic shift, focusing on the volume models in China.
Seems like it. A strategic retreat for the high-end stuff, maybe? Highlights how tariffs can directly impact what's available and how much it costs.
Good point. Direct impact.
Back to the tech front. The AI boom, it shows no signs of slowing down.
Definitely not.
At Salma, that's Sam Altman from OpenAI, tweeted about a massive surge in OpenAI usage recently.
Not surprising, given everything they're rolling out.
Right. He also pointed out how the internet is now delivering more of those crucial GPUs, the graphics processing units.
Ah, the GPU bottleneck. That was a thing.
Exactly. What's the significance of this for the future of AI?
Well, what Altman's hinting at is just explosive growth. If you look at reports, like one from Enterprise Apps today, OpenAI's revenue jumped. Get this, 700% last year.
700%.
Yeah. That kind of usage puts incredible demand on computing power, specifically GPUs. So his point about the internet delivering more GPUs is key.
Because the shortage was slowing things down.
Right. Earlier this year, TechCrunch reported that a shortage of these powerful chips was actually slowing down the rollout of advanced AI models, like maybe GPT 4.5 or whatever's next.
So the supply catching up is crucial for development to keep going fast.
Absolutely. It fuels the fire. And looking further out, it's worth remembering OpenAI has long-term plans to develop their own custom AI chips, too.
Right, to secure their own supply chain.
Exactly. So for everyone, this means the pace of AI innovation is likely to just keep accelerating. Hold on tight.
Okay, we've got another update on that escalating trade war. Seems like confirmation. This time from @Globi News.
What are they saying? Same thing.
Yep, also reporting that China is increasing tariffs on all American imports to that same 125% level.
Okay, so multiple sources confirming now.
Right. And the tweet even includes a picture of President Xi. What should we take away from this repeated confirmation?
Well, framing this within the ongoing U.S.-China trade war, which, Wikipedia reminds us started way back in 2018, this isn't just a minor skirmish.
No, it feels like a significant step up.
It really is. It's a major ratcheting up of tensions. The image of President Xi probably aims to project, strength and resolve.
It's definitely tit for tat now.
Absolutely. A BBC report earlier this week detailed how the U.S. recently hiked tariffs on Chinese goods to 125% after China's earlier 84% response. So back and forth.
And this isn't just abstract economics.
Not at all. It has real-world consequences. Potential market volatility, impacts on the U.S. trade deficit, as Wikipedia notes. It reinforces the idea this trade conflict is far from over.
Yeah, it seems like it's just heating up again.
And it'll likely continue to influence prices and the global economy.
Okay, now, a pause for something different. A moment of reflection, maybe. At the Conquer MM, shared a powerful visual with just a simple caption, "Never forget."
What's the visual?
It's hard to describe perfectly, but it shows two paths. One looks, easy and fun at first, but leads down. The other looks hard, uphill, but leads up.
Ah, like the short-term pleasure versus long-term gain idea.
Exactly. One side is labeled something like the road to hell feels like heaven, and the other, the road to heaven feels like hell.
Wow. That really hits on that psychological concept of delayed gratification, doesn't it?
Yeah, like the marshmallow test thing.
Right. Sacrificing short-term comfort for a bigger reward later. It often feels tough in the moment. It reminds me of that Dante quote, too.
Which one?
From the Divine Comedy. The path to paradise begins in hell. Suggesting, big achievements often require enduring hardship first.
Interesting connection. Maybe a reminder to consider the long-term implications of all these big immediate decisions happening now.
Could be. A moment to think about the path we're on globally, maybe.
Okay, believe it or not, we have yet another source confirming the tariff news.
Seriously. Oh, this time.
At Spectator Index again. Tweeting again, reiterating. China is raising tariffs on U.S. goods to 125%. Why is this being reported so widely?
Well, this repeated confirmation just really drives home the significance, doesn't it? It's not a rumor, it's happening. As Wikipedia highlights, the U.S. had already put massive tariffs on Chinese imports before this.
Hundreds of billions worth.
Exactly. So this latest countermove from China could really intensify fears of what economists call economic decoupling.
Where the two biggest economies just drift further apart.
Pretty much. The Peterson Institute noted that many U.S. companies were already adjusting their supply chains because of earlier tariffs. This will likely accelerate that.
And for consumers.
Well, you should probably be aware this is likely to impact the price of goods, both here and in China. Similar to what we've already seen in previous rounds, it ripples through.
Right. Okay. Let's move into the music world for a second. A major drop just happened from a true icon. At Kendrick Lamar. Simply tweeted Luther with YouTube link. And, with over 12 million followers.
That got noticed, I bet. What is Luther?
It's the official music video for his new song Luther, featuring SZA. Just dropped today. It's from his new album, GNX.
Ah, okay. Featuring SCA, big collab. Does it sample Luther Vandross, the name?
Good ear. Yeah, it samples that classic Luther Vandross and Cheryl Lynn track, If This World Were Mine.
Nice. Has the song been out long?
The song itself, yeah. It's already been huge hit #1 in several charts. He even performed it at the Super Bowl this year.
Wow, okay. So the video is the new thing.
Right. Directed by Karina Evans. Already racking up huge views, huge likes. It's also, worth mentioning.
The Drake situation.
Yeah, for those following the music scene, this comes amidst Kendrick's ongoing back and forth with Drake. Luther feels like maybe a different vibe compared to some of the more direct diss tracks.
Interesting contrast, maybe. A major cultural moment happening right now, either way.
Definitely. Okay, now let's look back at some maybe concerning signals from the financial markets.
More market jitters?
Seems like it. At Kubisi Letter tweeted that the U.S. dollar has exited the room. That's dramatic.
Exited the room, okay.
Yeah, with a comment saying, once again, something is broken, and they included a link to a chart. What's going on with the dollar?
Well, what that chart likely shows is a pretty sharp drop in the U.S. dollar index, the DXY. Looks like it went down to around 100.115.
Is that a big move?
For a single day, yeah. That's a significant drop, like 0.7%. This kind of rapid weakening against other major currencies. It often signals underlying market nervousness.
And there's a bigger picture here, too.
Yeah, looking back, WebID.2 notes that the dollar's actually had its worst year since 2008. fueled by uncertainty around U.S. economic policies, maybe these tariffs, and also growing expectations the Fed might cut interest rates.
Okay, and the something is broken comment.
That likely points to deeper systemic concerns, maybe linked to geopolitical tensions, the tariff impacts we've been talking about. It feels like instability.
Any currencies doing well against it?
Interestingly, the euro saw a rise, according to that same source, WebID.2, partly due to Europe's plans to increase defense spending. So lots of moving parts.
And for people listening, a weaker dollar can mean what? Higher import prices.
Potentially, yeah, among other things. It affects trade, travel, investments. It's complex.
Right. We're getting further analysis on this weakening dollar from @Spencer Hakimian.
Okay, what's his take?
He also tweeted about it, predicting the dollar is about to break below 100.
Below 100 on the DXY, that's a key level.
Yeah. And he added this kind of cryptic comment, everything is computer, along with another chart link.
Everything is computer. What does that mean?
Well, first, his technical outlook on the dollar seems negative. He's pointing to what analysts call an ABC corrective structure, suggesting if it breaks below 100, it could fall further.
And that 100 level is significant. Why?
Historically, according to TradingView data, it's acted as a really strong support level for the dollar. Breaking below it would be, technically bearish. Yeah. Okay, but the everything is computer bit.
That's actually a meme. It apparently originated from a comment Trump made about Tesla way back in March 2025. Know Your Meme tracked it.
A meme used in financial analysis.
Yeah, it's often used ironically now to kind of poke fun at overly simplistic explanations for really complex systems like global currency markets.
So Hakimian might be saying, don't oversimplify why the dollar's weak. It's not just one thing.
That could be it, or maybe just a bit of internet culture creeping into finance commentary. Who knows?
Okay. Finally, totally different topic. A public apology making some waves online.
An apology? For what?
@JackMaxCFB tweeted a brief apology. Said it was brief due to character limits on X. He was apologizing for spreading false rumors about someone named Mary-Kate Cornett.
Okay, who are they and what were the rumors?
Well, Jack Mack is a college football commentator. And he's apologizing for some pretty serious false rumors he apparently spread back in February about Mary-Kate Cornett, who's an 18-year-old student.
18? Wow. What kind of rumors?
Involved an alleged affair, which he now fully admits was completely untrue. That's rough. Why the apology now?
Well, reportedly, it came after Cornett threatened legal action against various media outlets that had amplified these false claims.
Good for her. This whole thing really highlights the dark side of social media, cyberbullying.
Absolutely. And Cornett actually even set up a GoFundMe, it's closed now, aiming to create a foundation for victims of cyber attacks. She also referenced the CyberSmile Foundation.
They do work against online abuse, right? Partner with celebrities sometimes.
That's the one. It's worth noting, though, the replies to Jack Mack's apology tweet. They've been pretty mixed. Some skepticism out there.
Understandable, maybe.
Yeah. For everyone listening, it's just a stark reminder, isn't it? The impact of online rumors, the importance of verifying info before sharing.
Definitely a cautionary tale there, too. And that wraps up your daily vibecasting for today. A rapid-fire look at what's been setting X on fire. We've covered a lot, huh? Escalating global trade tensions.
Fascinating tech development.
Significant movements in the financial markets.
And even some notable online drama and apologies. Quite the mix.
These quick updates really show you how interconnected everything is, don't they?
Absolutely. Think about how these different threads, trade wars, AI infrastructure, even social media apologies, they all reflect these larger forces shaping our world right now.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what decisions being made today will have the biggest impact down the road.
Exactly. Something for everyone to think about. Consider how these different threads might intersect in ways we don't even see yet.
Keep your finger on the pulse, stay curious about what's unfolding, and we'll catch you next time with the latest vibrations from X.